Hi, now we're going to talk about multiplying and dividing fractions. First, we're going to multiply proper and improper fractions. So the way to do that is to just multiply across. So here we would multiply 3 times 2 is 6, and 4 times 5 is 20, and then reduce if possible. So we can reduce these both by 2. So 3 over 10. Now, in my rules here, we say cancel before starting. So let me show you that exact question again with the canceling before we start rather than at the end. So if we were to cancel before we start, these individually don't reduce, but with multiplying fractions, we can reduce across. So do you see that the 2 and the 4 can both be divided by 2? So we can write this, 4 divided by 2 is 2, 2 divided by 2 is 1, as 3 over 2 times 1/5, and that will give us the same answer. Multiply across, and the bottom, and we end up with 3 over 10 that at the end that we don't need to reduce. So it is better to cancel before you start, and the reason is because the numbers that you're working with will be smaller, and you don't need to reduce larger numbers at the end. So we're not working with huge numbers here. So it won't matter a whole lot. But you notice here that 6 goes into 6, so they would actually cancel, and all we have left is 5. Let's do another whole number. Now this one, you notice 7 doesn't go into 5 or the 3, so we can't reduce it. And this is like a 5 over 1. We multiply across the top, 15 over 7, and let's write this as a mixed number. 7 goes into 15 twice. That would be 14, so there would be 1 out of 7 left. And one more. Okay, so I notice here that 7 and 14, they have a common divisor. I can divide both of these by 7. And then the 10 and the 15, I can divide both of these by 5. So what I end up with is 2 over 1, 7 divided by 7, times 2 over 15 divided by 5 is 3. Multiply across the top and the bottom. And then 3 goes into 4, 1, with 1/3 left. Okay, so now if we're going to multiply mixed numbers, first we're going to write the mixed numbers as an improper fraction. And then we'll do the rest in the usual way. So if we had 3 1/2 times 2 1/3, remember to write these as an improper fraction. We multiply. 2 times 3 is 6, and then add the 1. So 7 over 2. 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7 over 3. Nothing cancels, so we multiply across the top. 6 goes into 49 8 times. That's because 6 times 8 is 48. So it goes in 8 times, and 49 minus 48 is 1/6 remaining. Do another one of those. 5 1/4 times 2 3/7. So 5 times 4 is 20, plus 1 is 21. 7 times 2 is 14. 14 plus 3 is 17. I notice the 7 and the 14 can be reduced, both by 7. So this will be 3 over 4 times 17 over 1. 3 times 17 is 51. Let me just show you that. 17 times 3 is 10 times 3. plus 7 times 3. So that would be 30 plus 21 is 50. There's the 10 is the 1, 0, and then the 7. Oops, 51. Now 4 goes into 51 12 times. 48. So 12 times, and with 3 left over. Okay, so then we're going to divide. So dividing, we invert the second fraction and multiply, and then we multiply in the usual way. So for example, if we had 3 over 4 divided by 2 over 3. So you rewrite the first fraction, and then you flip this one over, so 3 over 2. And then we multiply in the usual way. Nothing cancels here, so this will be 9 over 8. 8 goes into 9 once, with 1/8 remaining. We can do this with whole numbers as well. This would be like a 5 over 1, and then we invert the 1/2 and multiply. So this will be 10 over 1, which is just 10. Now when dividing, sometimes you'll see fractions divided inside another fraction. So for example, we'll have 1/4 divided by 1/2 written in this way. So this is divided by 1/2. We do it the same way, times 2 over 1. This is 2 over 4, which reduces to 1/2. Now if we divide mixed numbers, we first convert them to improper fractions. And then we multiply in the usual way. So for example, if we had 3 3/5 divided by 2 1/10. So first convert them to improper fractions. So 3 times 5 is 15. 15 plus 3 is 18 over 5. And this is divided by 2 times 10 is 21 over 10. So 18 over 5 multiply by this flipped over. And do these reduce? Actually, yes. This divides by 5, as does the 10. And the 18 divides by 3, and so does the 21. So 18 divided by 3 is 6. 5 divided by 5 is 1. 10 divided by 5 is 2. 21 divided by 3 is 7. So we've got 12 over 7. 7 goes into 12 once, with 5 left over. 1 5/7. Okay, so next example, say we had 3 1/8, and we wanted to divide that by 1/2. So 3 times 8 is 24. 24 plus 1 is 25 over 8, divided by 1/2. So 25 over 8 times 2 over 1. We can divide this by 2 and this by 2. So we'll have 25 over 4 times 1 over 1. 25 over 4. 4 goes into 25 6 times, and that would be 24, so there would be 1 left out of 4. Okay, so thanks for watching. And there's a few examples you can try in the handouts.